Well, is it on? Oh, amazing.
David is there?
No.
Not yet.
Morning, Jacob. RIshon.
I'm getting conscious of the air every 3 weeks. I feel scared.
You're
So scared, like I still have a lot of energy.
yeah, I heard you learning yesterday.
Well,
You have such a talent.
you think so?
Yeah, I know so. I know so. I see. I don't know. I some people don't have it in them. I know even if I prepared it, I wouldn't.
I've been to many times. I've been to an opera, and the person can't even read the Haftorah.
Yeah, Mamish that way.
Right.
Yes, who never said it? Yeah.
But you have it like anyway, it was very sweet. I heard you relaying yesterday. It was like, wow.
Thank you. So I want to continue doing that. You know.
Hey, listen, yeah, there are plenty of places that will give you the opportunity.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I don't know any here.
First of all, you can always lay in a for Java's.
And Monday, Thursday.
You're hired.
Monday, Thursday.
Who's saying Wednesday also?
No,
But,
And then I want to learn Parshas Tetzaveh and Rabbi Soloveit's show in West Bloomfield.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
It's Parshas Zachor this year. So.
That's so great. You know some soap?
Morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, we come with that. I remember Rabbi Farm, the shred.
Oh, yeah? Oh, very nice. Wanted to have it recovered?
No, some, they don't always have it either. You have to wait, you know.
Oh, look, they have it like their annual thing.
Yeah, but they don't always have it. Yeah, it's annual market. You know, I guess it's anything else to raise money for the school. You have it here also, the school. No, you don't have it here by Obama.
We should do it. Where do they make it?
Well, you can have it here also if you want. Yeah, out of here, I try to come by them.
Okay.
Other people too, I'm saying, yeah.
Sorry, I missed your birthday,
Very
but I learned with somebody in Moshe Shabbat.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me off.
You have a
Yeah,
feast
right.
every month of Shabbos?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, it's a good thing.
That's what we did.
Raise money for children.
Yeah, they do it every year?
No, like I said, for whatever reason, they didn't have a way here. It's a good thing. It's nice. I'm nice.
Nice thing.
That guy.
That's the thing.
The guy that cheated.
Think about it.
It's Milton.
Yeah, you're right.
Is this?
I'm just giving you a good idea if you want.
Son, do you know where the filter fish is coming from?
From Klein.
From Mordechai Klein?
Yeah, yeah, it's bar mitzvah. That good?
No, yeah, it's also like.
Oh, then you should take it off.
What do you say?
Flagship will take it off. Then.
It's been in the table here. How do you say?
Put it back in the fridge.
But please, you know what? Just- That's
Anyway, I would come there. You know, other people.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something to think about, right?
Uh-huh.
Was this also flagship?
How about the chickpeas?
No, this was container.
Ah, no. Morning, Menachem. How are you?
Nachum, you need a haircut.
What?
You need a haircut.
I used to have a shirt that said, I came into this world fat and bold and him to go at the same time.
It's beautiful. You have time. It was one of the nicest that you had. It's beautiful, a lot of people and.
I was keen to game. I played on the guitar with them. Nice.
Edda. You know, my wife played guitar and piano.
Oh, yeah?
She saw the guitar.
I listened last night to Rav Shimon or Simon Jacobson on Hey Test. You know, why it should be a Yom Tov, you know, but still we don't do talking on it. I mean, what was it? The Rosh Shulchan Aruch in English, they said you don't do Tachanun on Hey Teves. He said that, yeah, so that's what he posted. I asked the question. I Googled the question, and it said that day, when the court case came down of David Mincha, the Rebbe showed displeasure when they skipped Tachanun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
Okay,
So Yom Tov with Tachanun.
okay, Yom Kotzer, Amalach Meruba. Good morning. This week is going to be Asara Teves. So David shall helfen that you hope for Yamael, the Sos and Simcha should be Moyedim. And this starts really. There's a certain stringency that there is in Asara Teves because it really starts. It starts the whole cycle of the opposite of good. So from this year, the Mashiach's Kingdom will come. We nip it in the bud and be mahapach everything for a simcha.
If it falls on top, it falls on fast.
Right. Exactly.
You pass the Shabbos? No,
Theoretically, if you would have made church and pull out. Morning.
Can't be on Friday.
Theory.
Wait,
This is when they encircle the Yerushalayim or what?
See you.
They're having even today, right? Press today.
There's even more intense than Tishbav.
Right. It has a certain chum in it because it starts the whole. No.
Please.
Very Roman house.
Okay, let's get started. Someone asked me, he started a business, a shaitel business. So there's something that a lot of shaitel machas started doing over COVID, which is instead of coming in-house and measuring their head in order to make a new shaitel, you could do it on Zoom. Wow. So he wants to know. He went to one of the big shaitel machas, and they said, "Sure, we'll teach you the technique for a little price of $7,500." But his wife could get a phone consultation for $75, and then she could videotape it, and they'll measure her head and everything, and they'll do everything, and then he'll know exactly what to do. He'll save himself. He'll save himself $5,625. So he wants to know if he's allowed to do that. Say I don't know which he went to Chevy Wiggs. They told him, "You come to our studio. We'll charge you $7,500, and we'll teach you how to set up this business online." Yeah, I will teach you how you measure the head and how you do it on Zoom. He's saying, "Why do I have to spend $7,500? You can go online and you could pay $75 to do a Zoom consultation, and they measure your head. She'll tape the whole thing.
Will watch when the wife does it.
Yeah, he's saving himself $7,500.
When the wife goes through the consultation, the husband will watch and take notes.
The question was asked a little differently, but yeah, she'll record it and then he'll watch it later. He'll watch it again and again, and he'll figure out how you do the measurements on the head to fit a shaitel. You have to fit a shaitel right.
They're going to a shoot going by that anyway. Measuring it over there and by the
I think it's a little worse over here.
Yeah, let's think.
But this is what we'll talk about.
The business owner has no idea that he's doing it. The business owner.
He's not telling the business owner anything.
Then it's
Maybe it's the same.
It sounds like the neighbor stuff.
Again.
The company thinks they're just doing a $75 consultation. They don't realize that the husband is tuned in.
Right.
And has a whole.
This is my Shaila. Right. This is my Shaila. Again, Shaila is if he goes to the studio of this shaitel macher company, they're going to charge them $7,500 to teach him how to set up his business online. they could do consultation on Zoom. But if his wife will do a Zoom consultation, it'll cost her $75 for the consultation. So he wants
order his own shadel, then he can just do it for 75. That's the eighth.
his own.
He should get his own shadel, no problem.
And if they did it for him for his own, then it's mutter.
Then he just pays 75 because he's just. I'm
And
joking.
then it's mutter. I don't know.
No,
Like it's all part of
I
it.
said Al Divrischo.
Oh, okay.
And he should get his own
But
shadel.
I don't understand the other question. Because when somebody is dealing with different type of people, different types of heads, different types of faces, and everything could be different, the fact that he's going to know how to do it with somebody like his wife only doesn't even make sense from a business point of view. That he's not going to have all the information.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying. And this also comes into account. I think he might be fooling himself, thinking that he might get for $75 what he's looking for, and he might not be getting for $75 what he's looking for. I'm not sure. Could be you're right. This was a Shiloh was asked. It's not like it's Akasha for Maisa. Could be you're right. Could be his wife will go and pay $75, and he's going to realize that he doesn't get the picture, the story behind the story. I don't know. Could be he'll realize he wasted his $75. But that's the question he asked me. Okay. So I think the Shaila really splits into three questions here. One is Ainoas Dvorim. Is he tricking the company when he's saying I'm taking a consultation? He's really taking a tutorial, not a
His
consultation.
wife is paying it. She's the customer.
Right,
Right.
it's his money.
With,
It's him, it's her, it's the same thing. Asogas Gvul, same is another question. The third question is, are you allowed to videotape someone with or audio tape someone without his rishus? Okay, so I want to split it into three questions. The first thing, let's read the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe writes in Hilchas Einoah v'Gnevas Das. Ketzad the Einoas Dvorim. What's Einoas Dvorim? Hoya chamorim avakshim menu tvua liknes layomer l'chu eitzel ploinim v'hu yedeh she'en le ela shemeskav lahosel by derech bezoin. Bechamorim v'afa b'ishe yochli is not some layim aloi hayisi sava sheyesh l'cha is dava masel aloi v'alzan mavedes elakecha ani Hashem. He wants to make a joke on the guy. So the guy gets a knock on the door. Excuse me, you sell computers? Computers? Stop shining. Chaim Yankel told me that you sell computers. This guy is just making a joke. So you're not allowed to do that. This time there's a funny joke. There's a story talk that once the son of the Noida Yehuda came to visit the son of the Chacham Tzvi, the Yavitz. Yavitz was always busy, writing Pashkvil, and he had his things against the Beres and Eifshitz, justified or not, but whatever. He was against the Beres and Eifshitz. It's a very complicated machloikus. Definitely, no one in their right mind would put their hand chas v'shalom to this machloikus because it's a big svara that it was really a machloikus l'shem shamayim. Beres and Eifshitz was definitely godel ador. Some look at the Yavitz as just a rich printer who had a yichus from a very chush of a father and had a very sharp tongue and had a printing press to his disposal. Others have a very big chashivas for the Yavitz too. So there's a letter from the Baal Shem Tov to the Magid. Don't put your nose into this machloikus. Yeah, it seems like the Magid wanted to go out to defend the Rebbe Yonis Eifshitz. Anyway,
What was the machloket?
the Nakudas Machloket was that the Rebbe Yonis Eifshitz was unbelievable tzaddik, an unbelievable goan. His svarim are today on every yeshiva, on every svarim Kreisi Uplaisi, on the Yeredeya, and Urim V'Tumim. Kipshute, like the name is Urim V'Tumim. On anyone that learns Kosher Mishpat or Baba Kama Mitzvah Baba Vatsa seriously is learning Urim V'Tumim. But he also had a mystic side to him, and he used to give kameyot to people. Now, in Sephardi countries, it was more common that tzaddikim gave kameyot. In Ashkenaz, it wasn't common.
Till today, they still get kameyot.
Right, but Ashkenazim, it wasn't so common. So this guy, the Yaakov ben Tzvi, he got crazy about this. He said that this guy is a follower of Shabtai Tzvi, he's a secret admirer of Shabtai Tzvi. I mean,
Oh,
time will tell the truth.
That's serious.
It's a serious allegation, but we know the truth in time now.
Wait, the alleged Rabbi Absis was a.
Was a follower of Shabbat Tzvi. So boy is right. So it gave him a lot of Agnes Nefesh to the various Nefesh, which also come from time after in history. When you look back, he seems from pictures and from his writings like a ish tom, a very sweet person who always felt the pain of another Jew. And if someone came to him, he couldn't and he wanted to help, so he would write kameyas. But they were definitely in a tzad kedusha.
Why the Ashkenazim against me?
One guy started writing kameyas, and they almost buried him alive. So everyone else said, "We'll stay away from this business."
Wasn't even? I think after he died, after he died.
No.
No, there's still.
There's still things.
And
Yeah.
Save us something. Should they try to trap that Tzvi based on Mateva, based on the writing?
No, the funny thing, the whole belt tells a story. They're buried next to each other.
Who?
Question is, Rabbi Yaakov ben Tzvi and the Rebbeinu Snipeshits. And they say
Is that a joke?
that it wasn't a joke. There was why it happened. Anyway, let's get back to.
Was it a big
I just wanted to tell
was
it.
there a big snowstorm or something?
Something like that. So what happened was that so even though the Noda B'Yehuda's son was a little on his side, but he didn't like it that he's making he's making so much. He walked out of his house and someone asked, "Do you know where they sell jugs?" So he pointed to the door of the Yavitz. Do you sell jugs? He says, "No, I don't sell jugs. Who told you I'm selling jugs?" He said, "Over there, you saw that guy. He said that you sell jugs."
You said jugs or drugs?
Jugs. They didn't have plastic bottles. Jugs. So next time he met Rabbi Yaakovke, the son of the Noda B'Yehuda, he said, "What are you selling?" Ich habe gemeint, du kennst doch machen Krieg, kennst du öfter machen euch Tep. Krieg is an argument. So I see you know how to make an argument, but it's a play on words.
Yeah.
Kennst machen Krieg, aber gemeint, du kennst machen euch Tep.
What's a tap?
You make in pots.
Oh, all right.
So anyway, here's the story. So that taka, that would be he meant it as a joke maybe, but this is an example. If you're doing it to hurt someone, So another thing is, that's true. That's true. Right. Yeah. It could be. They know Zvarmans on both. You're right.
The kids don't make a joke.
On someone else's cash
Someone has, yeah.
in business, that because let's read it a little further, so we'll see how the halacha to clarify. Can't go into a store and say how much it costs. You have no intention to buy it. How much it costs?
Some people go to check shoes. They sit down for an hour or two just to see if this shoes will be good, and then you go buy it from this another store. This is not
Right. This is what we're talking about.
an advert.
Yeah. When he won't buy, he will realize that this was all a ploy, and he'll feel pain from this.
Mhm.
So that's called a Noah's Dvonim. So, okay. Now, the Rebbe adds 4 words over here. Yaker chavedish and iskavan la toise. That kilu, this whole isur is only if the merchant, the seller, might, when I walk out of the store, might say, this guy came in to make a joke, a practical joke on me, and it'll hurt him. It's mashma from the Alter Rebbe that if it's impossible that yaker chavedish and iskavan la toise, then it would be mutter.
Make a joke?
So, in other words, if it's only because the merchant is going to feel bad, he's going to realize this was a joke on his cheshbon. That's what the Alter Rebbe says. Alter Rebbe adds 4 words. When I was a child, and I think I might have mentioned this, the most embarrassing thing was ever to go shopping with my father. Father was very careful, is very careful in those dvarim. So you go into a store, and Shuldik, I'm probably not planning to buy, but just want to ask you a question. So you can imagine how you get treated. Like, Tati, could you, it's like, this is not my father. But he was scared. And what happens if he decides? But really, he was planning to buy it. That's the problem. But he wasn't sure. Maybe he's talking. Maybe he's not gonna. He just wants to know the price. So he was scared. He's being over and knows dvarim. So he goes into a store. That's my father. So
if you come into a store to find out the price, and if it would be a good price for you, and
right,
you would buy it.
So it's not a problem. Yeah. Okay. Sure. So I know it's dvarim. Because you're making him a sugar, exactly.
If you're checking prices, you do not drive.
So
Check how much.
there's a choshev Rov is Rabbi Yaakov Moshe Stern. He's a dayan in Bnei Brak for many years. He runs the bezin of Rav Vosner Zechrono Lebracha. So he has a series of svarim on Choshev Mishpat called Imre Yaakov. It's a beautiful svarim, very clear. It's very gleiche kop. And so I want to show you a piece that he has on this, on being medayik on these 4 words of the Alter Rebbe. He writes like this: Mashma, it's Mashma from the Alter Rebbe, the Moise Beifen Shein Chavei Maker Klum Shori. Ulam Lachoira David Tzrich Iyun, the Beshas, but B'Metzia Isa V'Lo Yisla Eine V'La Mekech Shere Davar Motzer L'Leiv V'Chol Davar Motzer L'Leiv Nema V'Aver Eisa Malakecha. V'Kotzer Al Zeh Me'idim Kotzer L'Hoines Es Kavere V'Lim Lo Pseida B'Dvor V'Shem Lo Hu Shamar Lo Yomer Loi Hu Shaman. The Gemara says Lo Yomer Loi B'Kam Chayvet Zeh V'Oine Roitz Likach. How much does this cost? And I really have no intention to buy it. It says the Meidi loy Adam Sham He says there can be 2 issues. One is, say there's a merchant. Today there's stickers, there's a price and everything. But in those days it wasn't that way, right? So the guy wants to really sell it for 10 dinar. And the guy comes in, how much is it worth? 10 dinar. How much you charge? 10 dinar. Walk out. Second guy, how'd you charge for this item? 10 dinar. Walks out. Third guy comes in, how much you charge for it? 8 dinar. It's a sale. Now it turns out that the first 2 people will stop wasting his time. So really they were going to upside to him because they really had no intention to buy the 000, the stam hacking at China. So now he thought that the value of the chayfetz, he can sell it for 10 dinar. Now he thinks he can only sell it for 8, but it's not true because the first 2 people were
Were they part of the plot with the third guy?
even if they're not. So he says, even if they're not, so if they are, that's a problem. But if they're not, even still, there's a little bit of a problem because he's matriach metzad. Harim mevur b'dvorim. Shegam im ein chavei maker sheroitz alahat. It's nami yosef. So it's mashma from the Meidi that the bar is lower. That even if the merchant doesn't come to a recognition that this guy came to fool me, it's still awesome. The Pashas Divrei Amerim Muchrachim Divrei Hashasham the Kamer the Davar Mosel Lev Pirshasha was in a Mosel Hakel Lev Shailos Im Lakel Im Lakalkulis V'Yoch Lomer Yisich Chofetz Likn Schepet Zad Kan Mevud Lomayre Davka Bev Shapirish Kan Rav Shechaveri Yakish and Skan Latesa Alav Bliza also Metam Shkosam Mirish Matrich Zamerch Matzar Shechosh Limke V'Lei Mochar. So in the Gemara is mashma like the Meidi. I'm not sure why he's saying this. It's not true in my mind. If you learn like the Alter Rebbe, you could equally learn the Gemara. The buyer could say, "I didn't mean that." When the kids do travel in class, Rebbe, I'm not tzaddik gomer from Tanya. I didn't. When your kids come home and you hear that you have trouble. No. I was I'm the tzaddik gomer in the class. This one, that one, the other one. I'm the tzaddik gomer in Tanya. So the guy, the koine, the buyer could be he's miskaven to be mitzahar. He's playing a practical joke on the guy, and he walked into the store plusher to make litzonos. But when he walks out, people say it's not nice. What do you think? No, I need tzaddik. What are you talking about? So the Gemara says tzaddik shmadik. The Rebbeinu Shalom knows what's in your heart, so doesn't matter what you're going to say. So I don't see why the Gemara would be more in this way or that way. But I do see from the words of the Meidi that the Meidi lowers the bar, and the Alter Rebbe raises the bar. According to the Alter Rebbe, it's only if Yaker Chaverish and Iskavan Latoisa v'Yotzer Loi. And according to Meiri, even if not, it's still also.
But there is something very important. Not everybody is the same. The guy that learned his halacha like this, he could think that he did it perfectly in a way that the guy is not going to be Vetzar. But the guy, the seller, is such a smart guy that he understands exactly what you behind your what's behind there. So it's not so simple to leave it up to the person that wants to decide. But
Still
to do it.
Huh?
Someone always has that.
Yeah. Right. The Alter Rebbe raises the bar a lot. He says, Yakir Chavere, he comes to Akora, Sheniskavan Latoisa v'Yotzle, really raises the bar. Ulam Lanias Daiti needed. This is Rabbi Yaakov Meir himself, Shter and his Chidush. I mean, if the Alter Rebbe or the Meiri, either one will agree with this, I don't know, but I'm just saying, it's showing you it's a nice mahalach that he has. It's balabatish and it makes sense. He says a rational thing, so let's read it. Lanias Daiti, the Shach Daf Kehecher, Shoimed al Mekach, Matriach Hasamoicha. Was him any Moicha, Koinem Menu Yesh Litzar, Shetriach Hoisa. If it like in the Middle East, when you go in and there's always a masomata. So now he's saying could be the Meiri is talking in that case. Not that there's a sticker or a price on every item. You're going in, how much do you want? 12. No, I'm going to give you 8. 8. 10. Huh? Yeah, but and the guy buys nothing. So you're not buying and you matriach him. So he says it's different. If you just go in, he wants to say in a second, you bought an item, he says, and you want to know what's the value today. A lot of people is that way. You want to know what's in retail. You think you got a metzia. You want to know if you got. He describes it. You went to America, you come back to Bnei Brak, and you bought something. You want to know if you chapta a metzia. So you go into the store. So he wants to go into the store, and he's just going in, and he's not arguing or nothing. He says, "How much does this item cost?" So he does 100 shekel. Okay, thank you. And he walks out of the store. So that would be different. That's what he wants to mechadish. Over there, it's not a problem. Unless if Yakeh Chavedish and his Kavan Latoisa. But if you're gonna go in and you're gonna start, you go arguing back and forth, and then okay, fine, 10 shek. Have a nice day. Bye.
The Hishbonis may have changed because now that all the retail stores, the brick and mortar, as they call them, know that there's so much activity online. If someone walks into the physical store, they know that the Messias has changed. That before the online, where if you went to a physical shoe store, but they're not. But
the brick and mortar store don't want you to do it. So if you're going in, walking in. If they factor in Ganovim too.
No, but they
stores. Every big business
factors in that.
Walmart, you think doesn't factor when they do their cheshbon for there. They don't factor in Ganovim. They factor in Ganovim. It doesn't mean that they're mevater on the Gnei.
No.
They just so you could factor it in a little bit. Right. You could factor it in maybe a little bit.
Also, when you go to Moshe's discount, they factor in the people who are going to go to cars, not return the shopping carts, and they get lost. They factor that in too.
So it doesn't mean that it's more. Okay.
They have.
Okay, let's read inside again. Does any day in Beoz, in a coin many usually tsar, Shetri Khoisa, not the Merits Ladas, come and Shavish Laser Khayf, Yeshlan. Eza Indian Ladas, go and shave Eza Khayf, it's Mahul. He came back to Bnei Brak with he bought a toaster in New York. Merits Ladas, come and Shavif, Shochel Mochroi. Because he wants to now sell it to his neighbor, this toaster. V'nichnas lechanus lishlas mechirim, ibli likonas laman somatam v'lamed alamekach. Debazeh yesh mokum lahater, v'nira lahovi lazesiyayte b'divrei hashas, p'sochim kufyut beis, the gam shamuske din ze bezeh aloshim, al tamed alamekach b'shosh ein lechodomim, because Shem Rashbam, lischor v'amoich Yisrael, v'ein lechodomim liknas hamekach, v'nimtz mafsid filim shloi kechena ma'acher she'ata mehapech boy. Venira la daik based on echt la rajbam baden yisur in the dan rakech shem mafside yosur because he's mafside chinam kamashkos de ze lekech nach acher im matzonu kvar ez es lokal schön loschen gemor al tamad al makach was in shema so mat shom mit hapach boy good the pirish rajbam kel bize ikerai malosh nashel dav kelam del smakeh khosar ולכן מסתבר שמגם יש כוסו שמטריח את המלך מצר כמנוס עליו זה שהוא מסמכח ועומד על המלך. He's bargaining with him. He's bargaining with him.
Want to get his price.
Yeah. כמו שכוס שמשפיל לו ניקחוי, לא משנה שווה לו כל כך, אבל לישל סתם בכמה תמכו חפץ פלוני, זה יש להט את הדף כמו עושה באופן שמקיבה מכה שהוא מטה ומיצר על ידי זה, that would be awesome. So he's saying a chiddush in order to be miyashiv the meidi and what he's and the Rashbam and the Vaila, he wants to be miyashiv the Alter Rebbe. He's saying that really takazoi, if you're going in and you're arguing and you're talking and you're discussing and you're bargaining, just because you want to do it for fun. You're an American, you came to the Middle East, you're in Morocco, you're in or you're in Shalim in the shuk, and you think it's fun. So you're going in and the guy says 12 shekel, no, 7 shekel. So okay, 10 shekel. Have a nice day. Take a picture now. So that's what he wants to say. That's what the meeting that I'm talking about, and that's where the bar is very low. Just that activity is awesome.
You're wasting the seller's time.
You're wasting his time and the viola. There's a few protim in here, but he's saying when the Alter Rebbe raised the bar is because he's talking about you just walked into the store and you asked them just a simple question: how much does this book cost? How much does this toaster cost? $10. Thank you. Have a nice day. So the Alter Rebbe, he's being medayik that's what the Alter Rebbe said, that it will only be osir if yaker chaveda sheneskavan la'toisik v'yotzer loy. But stamaza, you want to, so like for example, someone's mentioned about the shoe store. So if you're going in, you're draining him a cup, you're measuring, you're coming, and you really have no intention to buy, you're going to take a picture and you're going to buy it online. It's good. But and within that itself, I would say another pashut that thinks to me that if you go into a shoe store and you're gonna buy a shoe and then you like it and in the future you want to buy it online, I don't see anything wrong with that. You bought, so now you like this. You went in there, you miss makeach. He spent time with you. In the olden days, maybe taka, you liked it, you liked the shoe and you liked the way they treat you, so you'd come here twice a year or once a year. But Lapol, you came in and you bought a shoe. But to go in and to spend this time to be oimed ala mekach, and then to just take a picture and buy it online, would be awesome. But if all you're doing is you're going inside and you're asking, kach b'kach, this shoe, what does it cost? He tells you it's $100, and then you look into your phone and you see you can get it for $69 on Amazon. So it's mashma that
a lot of people just come and browse.
That's right.
No,
You know,
but
if
they
you know you're
give you the
they
price
take
on the
that into
sticker, that's
account.
less,
They
right?
understand. They can only tell you of every 100 customers, X number will buy something. The rest are browsing. They're browsing.
I think in between there is somewhere in between Oimed ala Mekach. If the place is store, the store can only hold like 10 people at a time, and the place is packed, and you're not buying. That probably is Oimed ala Mekach. You're standing there and you're looking. There's some things in between. I'm talking the extreme. The extreme is that you're going in and they're measuring your feet and they're showing it to you and they're putting it on your feet. That's Oimed ala Mekach.
Yes.
And that's where he's saying, the Meidi would say it's awesome, the Alter Rebbe would be masking. The other extreme is you're just coming in, you want to know how much does the pair of shoe cost, and you're walking straight out of the store, you're not Oimed ala Mekach. Where there, the Alter Rebbe would say it's mutter. It would only be awesome if Yakeh Chavedish and Eskavala Toise v'yotzer loy.
I remember, I don't remember when we were kids, there was a toy store in FBO Shorts. Palmide, everyone went to FBO Shorts, Palmide.
Yeah.
But this is where the 1% went to shop. So everyone this
So I think you're right. I think it's different. FAO Schwartz, I remember we took our kids there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Someone in my shul actually worked there over there in the Bronx. So I think it was different. I remember. I mean,
It's
They
a
said
tourist
For
attraction.
Yeah.
1,000 people that are going to come
yeah.
in,
It was.
10 are going to buy. If we don't let 1,000, no, we're not going to have the 10.
Yeah. It was
They want a crowd. They want a buzz in the store. The more
Right,
people,
right.
the more.
right.
Do they
Yeah.
close?
No, there's FAO Schwartz. I think it's closed for a while already. Yeah.
They're not getting the
They closed and they opened again and then they closed.
When I see you have a location, I'm to be in the city.
Oh yeah, they do. They're still around.
By Rockefeller Center.
Oh, yeah?
But it,
Oh, I thought that-
ice skating rink.
Okay, it's not negated to me anymore.
Go after
That's-
One thing I want to say, so according to that, so in the case of because the guy is paying, they're not feeling at that moment should be okay. But the fact that they're gonna see in 10 days and 20 days that they became the competition after that's what they wanted to do. You know?
Okay, stay here. So I'm just raising this one thing. This is the one thing I'm raising. The other thing is Hasagas Gvul. The time is very short today, and I do want to get back to the sugya. Don't get me wrong. I want to get back. So many times people ask me about this, but I'm only mentioning it in past. It goes. There's a lot today. Is a big question about intellectual property. Every time you go in and you buy a book or you buy a tape or you buy a video, today it's not anymore that you go in and buy, but they say it's also l'tzalam, l'shachtel, v'chulu v'chulu, copyright. And there isn't a really printed tshuva from out of Grimblad brings that Gehet that the Moshe told him le'isur. You know, there's again but it's not Dvarim Shebiksav in the Igros Moshe that everyone says, oh, Rav Moshe said it's also Rav Moshe. We don't have a tshuva from Rav Moshe about it. Okay, whatever. We'll deal with it, but I just want to raise that there is an issue of Hasagas Gvul. Basically, there was one of the weird starts is in 1861 there was a big machlokas. There was about printers. This was already in the heels of. There were a few famous machlokas with printers.
Is this the Gemara one?
This is the aftermath. There was reference in this tshuva to the Gemara. So this was there was about Shulchan Aruch that was printed with the Pischei Tshuva with the Rishus, without the Rishus, whole thing with the Yorshim of the Pischei Tshuva. And there's a Tshuva from the Shailos Meishiv, who was the Rav of Lvov. It was just interesting that he felt that there was no question that the person has intellectual property. He had a problem. In those days, every sefer that had an askama, like Tanya, for example, so
5 years.
he had a problem with this. 5 years. So what the Alter Rebbe, Gdolei Yisrael, who the printer said to the Machaba Sefer, we'd like to print your sefer, but everyone's going to love your sefer. You know what's going to happen? We're going to work really hard to typeset it. And that time, typesetting was not just Azoy. It was they set an aleph and a beis, and then someone's going to go and steal our work or reprint it, and so then a lot of the Machabri Sforim were themselves were Gdolei Yisrael, and some of them were Matzaref to them also Chavedim who were Gdolei Yisrael, to make a Gzeida that no other printer could print it for 5 years. Typically, it was like a 5-year thing.
Tanya has it.
Times, I'm telling you. No, but the thing is, it's only for 5 years.
We also copy. It's not unlimited. It's not forever.
No?
No.
So, I have to look into it. So that's very good. I'm touching.
Happens 15 years. And
So he says he says his
5 years.
not that I agree with it,
Oh, yeah.
but his says the pshat of why say exactly why did the Alter Rebbe say 5 years? Bemes, he could have asked it because it's intellectual property belongs to him. Elamai. He wanted your futzama and asecha chutza. Elamai, he didn't want the shalus. That's why he put 5. But ilu yitzu he wanted, he could have put for 700 years. This is a contentious point. Is the Shailos Meishiv right or not? Anyway, I just mentioning that there are those that
all
feel
the firms that are online are Hebrew books and they're all copied.
they're all copied, yeah.
I'm sure
because all those printers are all till the Shailos Meishiv came along. It said this chiddush. No one ever thought of such a thing. The usual thing was about 5 years. Some would put 10 years, depending on the investment and how much the printer put in. So they would put 5 to 10 year thing that you can't can't
Wait, let me ask you. So they were worried that let's just say for our modern day, whatever. They were worried that I would take it and resell it, or they were worried I would go on and I would get a pirated version of it myself.
pirated version, and that someone else is going to print it, or whatever it is, the other guy's going to print it. He knows what he invested, and he printed 5,000 copies of the Sefer, and he sold 1,000, and the other printer found a way to print it cheaper. So the other guy's going to sell it for a few rubles left, and the first printer is left with 4,000 books in the warehouse. So he laid out all the money, and he's only making profit on the last 500 books. The first 4,500 books is to cover his cost. So that typically Haskam of a Sefer gave the printer a right that he's the only person on the market for 5 years. And Mitzvah will get more
The
into this.
reality of it is in the first year, 98% of the books that are going to be bought are bought the first year, So if they have it 5 years,
I don't know. Could be those days.
Unless
The way
it's a classic,
distribution- I don't know. The way distribution went 150 or 200 years ago. Amazon didn't have an overnight policy in those days. It wasn't the same.
New York Times bestseller.
No, it wasn't. Things moved much slower than today. Could be today there's such a thing, but things. So how did I? But this will all be chelik Shailos. Huh? Right.
They printed 20 years ago.
Right. That's could be. It takes time till you make money. Okay, the Pilpul Shabbaza, let's move aside. The bottom line is that there is a discussion about, so now here's my question. If a person develops a technique, even if he didn't patent it, if you believe that there's intellectual property and he developed a technique, so
it's creative or you took something.
Oh, so here's the thing. If I go, a Bachrol wants to learn how to drive. And he has a chush in driving. The father, mother pay, and you have someone teaching him. After 2 classes, I can it. Gets his license right away. You know what? He wants to make an extra few dollars on the side. He's teaching all his chavedim how to drive.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. The guy who taught him how to drive didn't invent the wheel. He didn't invent the car. He didn't do anything. He taught him. There's no problem, right? Everyone would agree that you could teach your friend how to drive. Yeah. Even though someone else taught you how to drive. But what happens? So my shaila is it a technique which is readily available that every sheitel mach understands how to do it? It's just that I just opened up the business. Ich weiß nicht. But they didn't invent any technique. Zero that they invented.
But how about the driver's school? They're losing money.
Doesn't matter. Okay, you could. There's a whole discussion. If you're down the block, if you're mamash opening, it's very hard to start about that. But whatever, we'll get there. But just for this time of saying, I taught you to drive. Who gives you the right to teach? What do you mean? So the same thing with I would say in every industry. It's this whole question of Sogas Wool only has to start if this company that's making shackles developed a certain unique mahalach that makes it easier, more comfortable, something unique that all the other shaitel machers are oblivious to. And this person, this balabos, people develop things all the time. People today from a companies, younger life, Baruch Hashem, Hamakop, Galan and Gemara, and they're developing constantly. How many from people have small companies, only 3, 4, or 20 or 100 employees?
But they need a patent.
And one person, no, because even if they're we're working, we're with them. If you believe that there is such a thing as intellectual property, if you believe so, and here's a from company, and they developed a technique how to make that shaitel a little more comfortable, a little more easier, or something better. So, and people are constantly developing things. So then I would say you can't steal it. You're going into the question of a Sogas Gvul. So then it's a serious shayla. But if it's just this, every garden variety shaitel macher knows how to do it, and just that
the customer, the husband didn't know it until he watched the wife.
I also didn't know how to drive. I mean, I happen to not learn. I learned on the road, but I didn't let my kids learn how to drive the way I learned how to drive. So I paid someone. So now if my child will say, Tati, I want to teach my friends how to drive. I'm just you want to make some money?
The difference is that if the wife describes to the husband based on the video that she watched, that's one thing. But he is Badaka watching the video that she paid all the $75.
So this is
It's
my-
It's
That
like
should make a
paying the
difference.
driving lessons, especially to be able to teach your friends.
So in other words, if I have a driving
That's what he's saying.
lesson and I'm sitting in the passenger seat and the instructor's showing
If
me
you're
how to drive,
videotaping
but
it without his
my friend
shoes,
sits in the back seat and gets a free ride, no pun intended, because I'm paying for the driving lesson and my friend sits in the back seat because he doesn't want to pay for his.
you don't have to give you don't have to give a mushal. You can give an imshal. If the guy comes in and without permission takes a video, that's talking my third child. If she allowed to record it and show it to her husband, that's taka a separate shaila.
Yeah.
Again, that's a shaila of Gnevis Das. So these are my three shailas. Bottom line is, I think if this is not a technique that was developed by this company, and there's hundreds of shaitel machas today, not tens of shaitel, maybe thousands. It's not so complicated to get into the shaitel business. So if this is not a unique, I would say. I don't see a Noah's Dvarim over here, and I don't see any Asagas. Well, if this is not the only little thing is, could you videotape someone without his shoes? There are those that are makel about this, and there are those that are not makel about this. I think the main shaila would be if this is a unique technique that was developed by the seller, then it would be a very serious shaila to me. Otherwise, I would say it's not a problem.
I know that secular law says that. I mean, again, this is the rationale is the same, that in the public domain, a person has no can't expect to have privacy while you're out in the street. But in your own home, when you expect privacy, you can't go videotape.
So
this Zoom call is happening in the person's home from the seller's home.
Right.
You have a certain level of expectation of privacy.
Well, it may depend on.
We don't go by secular law.
I'm saying, but it's all by intent. Also, by intent.
Because it's from your phone now, but it's considered like, instead of
Why?
the public domain, like everybody else has to do it. I won't do it in my house because of my convenience, because of COVID, and because of the
Interesting.
Making money, she hates a hard job.
You know what? The Rabbonish, she has the right attitude. She has the right attitude. Okay, quickly, I wanted the other two shilas.
Sam, I was tell this person. I remember someone who was Shaitel Macher, and tell this person that he had an issue with that he posted on Instagram. Oh, this Shaitel we just sold. The guy ordered it. When the guy ordered it, when the IRS said we sold, you posted. You sold this for this amount. This amount.
Wow.
Post everything on social media, and they trail it.
Ein Adam Nageh beParnasosh Shel Chaveda. The Gemara says Afli Kimoloi Nima. There's a whole story. The Gemara says Numa. That the Chazal tried to put the Beis Garmo out of business because they didn't want to tell the secrets of how to make the lachem aponim, or the other family they tried to bring umnim from Egypt. They couldn't figure out the secrets of it. So now they were maleidik. They said when they wanted to reinstate their job in the Beis Hamikdash, they charged double. So Chazal, as the Chazal, instead of getting angry, they laughed. And they said, you see, they went out with a big announcement. You see, you can't touch someone else's parnasa. If someone's meant to have parnasa, don't try to take it from them. Don't worry about your parnasa.
Just like 20 people, it's unbelievable. The whole ummas and everything.
He's a big tzaddik, obviously, so you're very lucky.
Like mom's a couple down.
You should pray to Hashem every day.
So she's right, but she's right because them is the okay.
I told her to make a franchise.
It's her statement.
You got to make the first franchise, and then she'll follow.
Second question, my friend.
Okay, so Friday there was a whole brouhaha about President Trump's tax return. So it turns out it's 1 year, Bachal paid no taxes. Another year, no one can find in his returns even one nickel or dime he gave to tzedakah. He said that he doesn't take the money, all the money that he gets as a president, that he doesn't take it. It's a loy dubim v'layar. He took every nickel and dime of it. So the thing is like this. The shaila is, should you leave him alone or not? Here's the shaila.
100%.
The shaila is, you should leave him alone. The shaila is like this. You can't make a law, even Dina de Malchus, you can't make a law la'achara ma'isa. When he came in as a president, true, there was a common practice to a lot of presidents that they made public their the tax returns, but a lot of them were very simple tax returns. They were politicians. Mamela, from day one, they were careful with what was recorded, or they were, simple. There was a very simple story here, and there was no Rashi and Teves to their dealings. So the thing is like this. Bottom line is, I want to read to you a piece in the Chofetz Chaim in Hilchos Rechilus. It's Paul Ches Halacha Hey. Chayev Adam lahastis soid asher gala lechaveru b'derech seisen. Afa pisha im begila hasoid in Rechilus. Ki yesh begila hasoid nezek lebola v'sibur lahofer machshavoisav. Ki gam bazehu yoytze mederech hatznius v'mavir al das bal hasoid. And there's a lot of things he brings in the orders over here. He brings Rayas, he brings from Rabbeinu Yoni, he brings a Gemara, and there's others that talk about this. The idea of Megala Soid. You are telling the IRS your private business. You're telling the IRS your private business. It's a Hayeskim Gomur that they're not being Megala your business to anyone in the world. They have to know how much to charge you for taxes, and they can't say, you know what, we'll be Samach and your Namonas, tell us how much the bottom line is. So you have to be Megala Soid of all your business. So it's a sensitive thing. They have everyone's Soidus. They know everyone's business. No one wants the others should know their private business. But they have no Medina de Malchusa, they have no choice, and they have to tell the IRS what their business is. There's no question. The IRS is not asking me a shaila, but if they were asking a shaila, al pidin they have the chiyuv of keeping a soid. They're not allowed to be megala soid. So now to say that a guy reported his earnings, and at that time there was no law that if you go into presidency you have to disclose, and now to say that he entrusted you with information and kilu, you're not kilu, and the IRS is also to be megala soid. And now to say we're going to go lamafreya and change the rules.
The difference is he's all over the president. He's being investigated. He's being indicted all over the place. So
because
I'm talking about
that's the whole thing.
The old
A
president
is someone that kept himself so clean that when he gets up there, nobody could stop him, and he could do whatever the party tells him.
It turns out that Ataka had soidus to hide.
Yeah.
It turns out that there was a good reason why he doesn't want his taka, not as generous as he makes himself sound. B'chulu. So taka was a soid. So it turns out it's true. It was a soid.
All gets revealed. All gets revealed in the end.
Yeah, but it's private information, my friend. Private information.
Good to Israel, leave him alone.
You hear what the song says? It was good to Israel. Don't bother.
As far as I heard, Trump was only president. He's 10 steps ahead. His net worth actually decreased while he was in office. Everyone else somehow magically went up while they were in office. So they said that the precedent, and now you can go after the president's tax return. When he's back, he says, "How you guys want to do it? I'll go after you guys when I'm back." That's what I heard.
Okay, let's go. You know what? Should we stop now and we'll leave weiter?
What do they do it from?
The birthday. Yeah. Okay, so let's do quickly the birthday cake because it's already after the birthday. Okay.
Every February.
Should be.
Yeah, the last week's shot. Okay. So someone asked the question. One second. Someone asked the question because we were learning the Meshimas Amanoida and I kept on saying about blowing out a candle. Someone said you're not allowed to blow out a candle. So I said I'll look into it. And the frat that there is some people that they put candles on the birthday cake and they make a birthday wish and they blow out the candle. So I want to tell you before we start, there is a beautiful article that I printed out from Rabbi Aryeh David Wasserman, Yonah Parsha. I looked at some other articles. This is really nice and comprehensive. There's a tshuva from Rabbi Avad Yosef, but I'll give you the bottom line. There is not in the madrashim that we have, but there are the Rishonim that bring a medrash that we don't have, not in Bereshis Rabbah or any. But they bring that the Kolboy, the Reishis Chochma bring a medrash that says Arba Dvarim Ha'oises Am Dama Beroisha, and one of them is a Machabes Aner, the Piv Hazeh is a Nichba. If a person blows out a candle, then the Rahman al it's a sakona. For a nichpa is probably means epilepsy, so it's a sakona. Another thing that's brought in Sfarim, again, many Sfarim bring this. This is Nachroinim, is that there's a malach that's his name. When you blow, that's the name. The name of the malach is it's Peseach Yedechel. I'm doing it now because I'm learning it. Peseach Yedechel. That's the name of the malach. The malach doesn't like when you spell out his name. Nishgit.
It's a good malach.
And that's why they bring in this from Akiva Yosef Schlesinger. Akiva Yosef Schlesinger was lived about 100 years ago in Yerushalayim. He was like a brand fire. He was like he wrote I mentioned once one of his sforim, Leva Ivri, and he had Rabbi Brook that used to all of Hashem the daven there. He was, besides being an enikel for Rabbi Yosef Chaim Zanov, was also an enikel from Rabbi Akiva Yosef Schlesinger. So from Beida Zayt, and that's why he was a brand fire from Beida Zaydis. So he was a Moridike Goen, and they said that he said, and you could say Purim. You say Epsazoid, you could say okay. A third thing that's brought, and that's already Acharoinim, Asvara, because a candle is Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam, is within a Neshama, so therefore.
Does Ramosha deal with it?
No.
Blowing out a candle for a birthday cake?
No.
But doesn't say that the
they do bring,
is the clean actual.
Exactly. And then there's a discussion. There's those that say that the kolba and the Shespachma say about a neir, maybe a match is different, but they bring from the Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, it says that you don't in Lomdus you say, oh, Chazal said it's also this is also, the other thing is mutter. But when Chazal tells you something is sakona and you don't know, so when in doubt, be careful because you're playing with fire. So, but on the other hand, they say that the Chaznish wasn't makpid, and he said, number one, Shem Epsam Hashem, number two, it's not mentioned in Shas. There are those that say if you're doing it for a mitzvah, like you're schmelzing the candles out of Shabbos, that's not an issue. But also he brings a tak in the Abiyah.
If I prepare the candle for my wife, and I have to put with fire to make a fire easier, I'm allowed to blow.
So that's what those that say that that Shem Epsam Hashem you're allowed to. That some say you're allowed to. Some say not. Some say.
What about Chukas Agoyim? Blowing out for a
so
birthday
now.
cake?
So let me summarize. So we have three reasons before we get to the birthday cake. We have three reasons that are, so number one, that there is a kol boy attack and a reishis chacham that bring it as a medrash, and there's several reasons why not. Lidach the were gedolei so that were not so makpid, and they said shem psoim. They said it's not mentioned beferish in the shas, but saying it's not mentioned beferish if it really is a medrash, it doesn't have to be mentioned in the shas. Anyway, okay. Now let's get to the birthday cake. So. According to Rabbi Wasserman, Rabbi David Wasserman in Hegyonia Pasha, he says that he did research on it, and that we're coming from Hanukkah right now, and really it's from the Yavonim, that this is an alta minik from the Yavonim, and the Yavonim were Oivdei Avodah Zorah, and they had a certain Avodah Zorah called Artemis, the moon. And that's why on the birthday they used to make a round cake to symbolize the moon, and they would put candles, kaminyan shnois of shel adam, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and when they blow out the candle, they would make a wish. If that's true, the taka that comes from the Yavonim, so the taka would be chukas hagoyim. I mean. The chukas hagoyim means something that makes no sense, and the goyim are doing it.
Maybe you should have round birthday cakes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because the square ones could be bigger. Why should you lose the corner? Exactly. Do a sheet cake better.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that the round cakes are
the shape of the moon.
I know. I understand. But if you mitzaref. It's out of both things that that there is such a svara that blowing out a candle is not okay, and there is a svara to say that it's chukas hagoyim. Today,
what about having birthday candles all together that you can blow out? Just
that's really not the whole chukah is.
Maybe that's
A
acceptable.
chukah is when you do it properly. If you do it the Moshe Kapoya, that's not a chukah.
So having
if you're going to have,
the chalal is not a problem.
You can't see a problem.
Okay.
It's only a problem when you do it the right way. The goyim put candles. and they blow it out and they make a wish, and you're not doing it that way. Nah, so come on,
Okay.
a hookah is a hookah. If you do it, you do it.
So you're saying you could have the candles just go like this?
I don't know. I'm just
So long as
raising
you don't blow it out.
because you're not blowing it out. So you're not doing it like the goyim doing it.
Just let.
I would say it's not a problem to have candles. If you're blowing it out with your hand, but still, the wish thing is if it's true that this was a Yavonim did this, and the truth is, what's kind of mashigas? Make a wish with make a wish when you fabrengen, you make l'chaim, you're sitting together. That's when you make a wish.
That's also a wish.
Nah, this is agoyish. This is. I'm not going to say that there is 25 lavim here, but the divrei shtus, for sure it's divrei shtus vehevel.
Yeah.
And it's a pasnish shvayidin that chachamim lechukamim am chacham v'novim to do such silly things, even if it's not if you're not. Sure, l'chaim are making wishes because we believe that Altia Birkas had yet kal beinecha, and the Alter Rebbe said that there was a note that came down from heaven that said. That's very nice, but not when you're blowing out a candle and making a wish with Mishagas of that. And if it's true that this is saying, pick up a glass of wine and say, fine.
What's wrong with throwing a penny in a wishing well?
Because they go on the cake also.
No,
I saw this.
The emphasis today, most of the candles are synthetic, so it's not like it used to be. I'm older with shashes and those candles taka kasher shine, serious kasher shine. Today, David, do you want to know if you can throw a penny in the
wishing well? Right? Yeah, make a wish.
But the better place. There's a book. Every year, hey Teves, we look for this book. It's out of print already for a few years, and we're looking for our children because our 22 years ago, our oldest child, we used to read to her this book a lot, and it's out of print. The best place for a penny. It's out of the print. Every year, hey Teves, my wife says maybe you could find it in one of the stores. I really want that book.
Why don't you go on Amazon?
Wait, what's the title? I'm sorry. What's the title?
Best place for a penny.
The best place. I remember that.
Now we have to say it's the best way for the best place for $100 bill because the penny is already.
It's a beautiful chinuch. The best place for a penny. It's a whole book.
A great book. Was that a
the best place for a penny is in a tzedakah pushka.
Was that a
Shailos? You don't even have to make a wish. When you put the best place for a penny is in the pushka. That's it.
Amen.
Okay, so you know what? We're sitting it together. Behemshech to Shabbos, Vayigash, and Behemshech to Hey Teves, and Behemshech to Zayin Teves, and Babringen last night.
Ask Michael Muchnik.
That for everyone sitting here, for all Klal Yisrael, this should be good. Begashmias and beruchnis gam yachad.
Amen. But I think maybe you should ask Michael Muchnik if he knows where you can get one.
Where I could get the